Hello, I'm Hannah, and this is Hannah's Books. Today, I come to you with a very quick tag video, the Bookish Superhero tag, created by Barb and Isabella over at the very clever channel The Font. I have not been officially tagged, but since I am a superhero, I felt that was unnecessary this time. The first question is, we are all special and unique. What are your unique special powers? I don't usually acknowledge my superhero identity publicly, but within the legion of librarian types, I am known as the synthesizer. My special power is that I can find a way to combine whatever I read with whatever I read next. Wonder Twin powers activate. If you put a book about the writing of The Color Purple next to a book about how we read Lolita, I can give you a series of thoughts, not only about looking again at older classics, but thoughts about changing meanings of sexual assault. If you stack The Barbizon, Come Fly With Me, and the forthcoming Maiden Voyages together, I can turn them into a dialogue on how travel both inspires and is inspired by changing definitions of femininity and feminism. If you put the new rewriting of The Great Gatsby from the perspective of Gatsby's neighbor, right next to the new novelization of the life of the wife of James Joyce, presto, I get Nick and Nora. How many of you are old enough to understand that last attempt at a joke? The second question. Every superhero needs a nemesis. What is your bookish kryptonite? I have two kryptonites, and the second is a serious disadvantage for superheroes. First, as I've mentioned before in my alternate persona, I don't do well with books that contain sexualized violence, especially if it doesn't come with a full side of analysis, and even if it does, if the descriptions are just too vivid. The second, the more problematic one, is that my skills as a reader of graphic novels and illustration-based comics are highly underdeveloped. When the plot depends on both text and pictures, I somehow always get lost, usually just forgetting to look at the pictures. And getting lost when you are a superhero is not a good look. The third question. If you could wish for any additional superpower, what would it be? I would like to be able to forego sleep, as Steve Donahue can, so I can have hours more each day to read. Question number 4. By day, you are a mild-mannered Clark Kent. What do you do when you aren't acting as a superhero? I masquerade as a nerd. You would never guess that my nerdiness is all just an act, would you? Prompt number 5. Mwahaha. Name your favorite bookish villain. I'm going to name a villain that comes to her villainy only because she has been hurt. Of course, that is not unusual for villains. And she comes with her own costume. Miss Havisham, from Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. After her heart is broken, when her fiancé leaves her at the altar, Miss Havisham turns her sadness and her humiliation to the goal of revenge against all men. In the process, she destroys her female ward as well. Holy wedding cake, Batman. The sixth question. Defenders of the Earth unite. Which bookish superhero would you collaborate with? I would like to collaborate with Superbrain author Jill Lepore. Not only is she the author of the spectacular study of American history entitled These Truths, but she authored The Secret History of Wonder Woman, combining interviews and research in the archives to uncover a really interesting creation story connecting it to changing ideas about feminism throughout Wonder Woman's long career. And finally, prompt 8 asks us to tag at least one small booktuber. The smallest booktuber I know, at least as it appears in one of his creatively edited recent videos, is Pei from the channel Attention. I will tag him for this video, and hope he hasn't already done it by the time I put my video up. Thanks, Barb and Isabella, for putting this great little tag together. And thanks to all of you for joining me today here on Hannah's Books, the channel I usually use to disguise my superhero identity. See you soon.